Advanced Composite Components. This chapter describes the advanced features of composite components in Java Server Faces technology. A composite component is a special type of Java Server Faces template that acts as a component. If you are new to composite components, see composite components before you proceed with this chapter. The following topics are addressed here. Attributes of a composite component, invoking a managed bean, validating composite component values, the composite component login example application. Attributes of a composite component. You define an attribute of a composite component by using the composite attribute tag. Table 13-1 lists the commonly used attributes of this tag. Table 13-1 commonly used attributes of the composite attribute tag. Attribute description. Name specifies the name of the composite component attribute to be used in the using page. Alternatively, the name attribute can specify standard event handlers such as action, action listener, and managed bean. Default specifies the default value of the composite component attribute. Required specifies if it is mandatory to provide a value for the attribute. Method signature specifies a subclass of java.lang.Object as a type of the composite component's attribute. The method signature element declares that the composite component attribute is a method expression. The type attribute and the method signature attribute are mutually exclusive. If you specify both, method signature is ignored. The default type of an attribute is java.lang.Object. Note, method expressions are similar to value expressions, but rather than supporting the dynamic retrieval and setting of properties, method expressions support the invocation of a method of an arbitrary object, passing a specified set of parameters, and returning the result from the called method if any. Type specifies a fully qualified class name as the type of the attribute. The type attribute and the method signature attribute are mutually exclusive. If you specify both, method signature is ignored. The default type of an attribute is java.lang.Object. The following code snippet defines a composite component attribute and assigns it a default value. Composite attribute name equal username default equal admin. The following code snippet uses the method signature element. Composite attribute name equal myAction method signature equal java.lang. String action. The following code snippet uses the type element, composite attribute name equal date joining type equal java. Util date. Invoking a managed bean. To enable a composite component to handle server-side data, you can invoke a managed bean in one of the following ways. Pass the reference of the managed bean to the composite component. Directly use the properties of the managed bean. The example application described in the composite component login example application shows how to use a managed bean with the composite component by passing the reference of the managed bean to the component. Validating composite component values. Java Server Faces provides the following tags for validating values of input components. These tags can be used with the composite value holder or with the composite editable value holder tags. Table 13-2 lists commonly used validator tags. Table 13-2 validator tags. Tag name description F. Validate bean delegates the validation of the local value to the bean validation API. F. Validate regex uses the pattern attribute to validate the wrapping component. The entire pattern is matched against the string value of the component. If it matches, it is valid. F. Validate required enforces the presence of a value. Has the same effect as setting the required element of a composite component's attribute to true. The composite component login example application. The composite component login application creates a composite component that accepts a username and password. The component interacts with a managed bean. The component stores the username and password in the managed bean, retrieves the values from the bean, and displays these values on the login page. The composite component login application has a composite component file, a using page, and a managed bean. The composite component file. The composite component file is an XHTML file. It has a composite interface section that declares the labels for the username, password, and login button. It also declares a managed bean, which defines properties for the username and password. Composite. Interface. Composite. Attribute name equal name prompt default equal username. Composite. Attribute name equal password prompt default equal password. Composite. Attribute name equal login button text default equal login. Composite. Attribute name equal login action method signature equal java.lang. String action. Composite. Interface. The composite component file accepts input values for the username and password properties of the managed bean. Composite. Implementation H. Form it equal form H. Panel grid columns equal to CC. ATTRS. Name prompt H. Input text it equal name value equal CC. ATTRS. MyLogin bean. Name required equal true. CC. ATTRS. Password prompt H. Input secret it equal password value equal CC. ATTRS. MyLogin bean. Password required equal true. H. Panel grid. P. H. Command button it equal login button value equal CC. ATTRS. Login button text action equal CC. ATTRS. Login action. P. H. Form. Composite. Implementation. The using page. The using page in this example application is an XHTML file that invokes the login composite component file along with the managed bean. Div it equal composite component as login panel mylogin bean equal mylogin bean login action equal mylogin bean. Login as login panel div. The managed bean. The managed bean defines a method called login, which retrieves the values of the username and password. Managed bean. Request scope public class mylogin bean private string name, private string password, public mylogin bean this. Name equal this. Password equal public mylogin bean string name, string password this. Name equal name this. Password equal password. Public string get password return password. Public void set password string new value password equal new value. Public string get name return name. Public void set name string new value name equal new value. Public string login string msg equal your username and password are plus username. Plus get name plus password. Plus get password. Return msg. To build, package, deploy, and run the composite component login example application using NetBeans IDE. From the File menu, choose Open Project. In the Open Project dialog, navigate to tut install. Examples. Web. Select the composite component login folder. Select the Open as Main Project checkbox. Click Open Project. In the Projects tab, right-click Composite Component Login and select Run. The login page opens in a browser window.